This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Tragedy of King Richard II by William Shakespeare. Act 5, Scene 1, London. A street leading to the Tower. Enter the Queen and ladies.
This way the king will come. This is the way to Julius Caesar's ill-erected tower, to whose flint bosom my condemned lord is doomed a prisoner by proud Bolingbroke. Here let us rest, if this rebellious earth have any resting for her true king's queen.
Enter King Richard and guard.
But soft, but see, or rather do not see, my fair rose wither. Yet look up, behold, that you in pity may dissolve to dew, and wash him fresh again with true love tears. Ah, thou, the model where old Troy did stand, thou map of honour, thou King Richard's tomb, and not King Richard, thou most beauteous inn, why should hard-favoured grief be lodged in thee, when triumph is become an alehouse guest?
Join not with grief, fair woman, do not so, to make my end too sudden. Learn, good soul, to think our former state a happy dream, from which, awaked, the truth of what we are shows us but this: I am sworn brother, sweet, to grim necessity, and he and I will keep a league till death. Hie thee to France, and cloister thee in some religious house. Our holy lives must win a new world's crown, which our profane hours here have thrown down.
What! Is my Richard both in shape and mind transformed and weakened? Hath Bolingbroke disposed thine intellect? Hath he been in thy heart? The lion, dying, thrusteth forth his paw, and wounds the earth, if nothing else, with rage to be o'erpowered. And wilt thou, pupil-like, take the correction mildly, kiss the rod, and fawn on rage with base humility, which art a lion, and the king of beasts?
A king of beasts indeed, if aught but beasts. I had been still a happy king of men. Good sometimes, queen, prepare thee hence for France. Think I am dead, and that even here thou tak'st, as from my death-bed, thy last living leave. In winter's tedious nights sit by the fire with good old folks, and let them tell thee tales of woeful ages long ago betide. And ere thou bid good night, to quit their griefs tell thou the lamentable tale of me, and send the hearers weeping to their beds. For why, the senseless brands will sympathize the heavy accent of thy moving tongue, and in compassion weep the fire out. And some will mourn in ashes, some coal-black, for the deposing of a rightful king.
Enter Northumberland, attended.
My lord, the mind of Bolingbroke is changed. You must to Pomfret, not unto the Tower. And, madam, there is an order ta'en for you. With all swift speed you must away to France.
Northumberland, thou ladder, wherewithal the mounting Bolingbroke ascends my throne. The time shall not be many hours of age more than it is, ere foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. Thou shalt think, though he divide the realm and give thee half, it is too little, helping him to all. And he shall think that thou, which knowest the way to plant unrightful kings, will know again, being ne'er so little urged, another way to pluck him headlong from the usurped throne. The love of wicked men converts to fear, that fear to hate, and hate turns one or both to worthy danger and deserved death.
My guilt be on my head, and there at an end. Take leave and part, for you must part forthwith.
Doubly divorced, bad men, ye violate a twofold marriage, twixt my crown and me, and then betwixt me and my married wife. Let me unkiss the oath betwixt thee and me, and yet not so, for with a kiss 'twas made. part us, Northumberland, I towards the north, where shivering cold and sickness pines the clime, my wife to France, from whence, set forth in pomp, she came adorned hither like sweet May, sent back like Hallowmas or shortest of day.
And must we be divided? Must we part?
Ay, hand from hand, my love, and heart from heart.
Banish us both, and send the king with me.
That were some love, but little policy.
Then whither he goes, thither let me go.
So two, together weeping, make one woe. Weep thou for me in France, I for thee here. Better far off than near, be ne'er the near. Go, count thy way with sighs, I mine with groans.
So longest way shall have the longest moans.
Twice for one step I'll groan, the way being short, and piece the way out with a heavy heart. Come, come, in wooing sorrow let's be brief, since wedding it there is such length in grief. One kiss shall stop our mouths, and dumbly part. Thus give I mine, and thus take I thy heart.
They kiss.
Give me mine own again. 'Twere no good part to take on me to keep and kill thy heart.
They kiss again.
So, now I have mine own again, begone, that I may strive to kill it with a groan.
We make woe wanton with this fond delay. Once more adieu, the rest let sorrow say.
Exeunt. End of Act 5, Scene 1. Act 5, Scene 2. The same. A room in the Duke of York's palace. Enter York and his Duchess.
My lord, you told me you would tell the rest, when weeping made you break the story off of our two cousins coming into London.
Where did I leave?
At that sad stop, my lord, where rude misgoverned hands from windows' tops threw dust and rubbish on King Richard's head.
Then, as I said, the great Duke Bolingbroke, mounted upon a hot and fiery steed which his aspiring rider seemed to know, with slow but stately pace kept on his course, while all tongues cried, God save thee, Bolingbroke. You would have thought the very windows spake, so many greedy looks of young and old through casements darted their desiring eyes upon his visage, and that all the walls with painted imagery had said at once, Jesu preserve thee, welcome, Bolingbroke, whilst he, from the one side to the other turning, bareheaded, lower than his proud steed's neck, bespake them thus, I thank you, countrymen, and thus still doing, thus he passed along.
Alack, poor Richard! Where rode he the whilst?
As in a theatre the eyes of men after a well-graced actor leaves the stage are idly bent on him that enters next, thinking his prattle to be tedious, even so, or with much more contempt, men's eyes did scowl on gentle Richard. No man cried, God save him, no joyful tongue gave him his welcome home, but dust was thrown upon his sacred head, which with such gentle sorrow he shook off, his face still combating with tears and smiles the badges of his grief and patience, that had not God for some strong purpose steeled the hearts of men, they must perforce have melted, and barbarism itself have pitied him. But heaven hath a hand in these events, to whose high will we bound our calm contents. To Bolingbroke we are sworn subjects now, whose state and honour eye for eye allow.
Here comes my son Almerle.
O Merle that was, but that is lost for being Richard's friend, and madam, you must call him Rutland now. I am in Parliament pledge for his truth and lasting fealty to the new-made king.
Enter O'Merle.
Welcome, my son. Who are the violets now that strew the green lap of the new-come spring?
Madam, I know not, nor I greatly care not. God knows I had as lief be none as one.
Well, bear you well in this new spring of time, lest you be cropped before you come to prime. What news from Oxford? Do these justs and triumphs hold?
For aught I know, my lord, they do.
You will be there, I know.
If God prevent not, I propose so.